Are you sure you know how to cleanse your blood vessels properly? One unverified recipe or incorrect advice, and instead of improving your health, you could end up in a hospital bed. God forbid a clot breaks off or a plaque completely blocks a vessel. This could lead to a stroke. And believe me, blood clots, cholesterol deposits, and plaques are present in almost every elderly person. As we age, our vessels become clogged even in those who seem to lead a healthy lifestyle. We'll tell you how to avoid dangerous mistakes and safely cleanse your vessels. Watch this episode to keep your blood vessels healthy for years to come. Today you will learn how to cleanse your blood vessels safely, how to slow down the aging of blood vessels in the entire body at the cellular level, which common fruits help clean your arteries, what is the connection between your teeth and plaque buildup, and how do your ears warn you about cholesterol in your blood vessels, how to get rid of cold feet and other unpleasant symptoms of vascular problems. Where does cholesterol most often accumulate in the vessels? And how to remove these deposits with simple methods. We'll also share a recipe for an elixir of vascular youth. And our expert and experienced cardiologist will explain why some smokers live long lives and teach you how to clean your vessels at home without medications. Let's start with some news. The World Health Organization reports that every third person over the age of 55 faces cardiovascular problems, and that's not even counting those who don't visit doctors. But there's good news too. Your blood vessels can be 20 years younger than you. Have you heard of vascular age? It refers to the condition and elasticity of your blood vessels, as well as the degree of wear and damage. Vascular age can be older or younger than your actual age, and you can rejuvenate your blood vessels and prevent 80% of problems. But to do that, you need to change your lifestyle and clean your vessels wisely, understanding what's happening inside your body. For example, not long ago, a man made a bet with a friend that he could do 240 push-ups, but on the 239th repetition, he had a heart attack due to a sudden disruption in blood flow to the heart. That's a vivid reminder of how important it is to understand your body and recognize early warning signs of possible diseases. We'll talk about that too. But first, let me share some secrets to healthy blood vessels that doctors rarely talk about. If you paid attention in biology class, you know that blood vessels are the body's transport system. Imagine your blood vessels as roads in a city. Arteries are wide highways carrying oxygen and nutrients from the heart to all organs. Veins are the return roads, bringing blood back to the heart. And capillaries are tiny alleyways that deliver nutrients to every single cell in your body. When there's a traffic jam on the road, the city stops functioning. The same happens in the body. When vessels are blocked, life is disrupted. If blood flow to the brain is impaired, a stroke occurs. And it often starts with stenosis in the neck arteries. Stenosis, or narrowing of the vessels, most commonly occurs in the carotid arteries that run along the sides of the neck. Cholesterol plaques accumulate on the vessel walls, preventing blood from reaching the brain. Have you ever tried walking a forest path blocked by fallen trees? That's what it's like. What makes things worse is that many people don't notice symptoms of narrowing arteries, or they dismiss them as signs of aging. Think about it and tell us in the comments. Do you experience dizziness, weakness, vision problems, poor coordination? These are the first signs of neck artery stenosis. Aside from the neck, plaques often build up in the leg arteries. So how can you tell if they're already there? Let's ask our expert, cardiologist Irina Alexeyevna Vasileva. If a patient already has significant narrowing of the arteries and blood vessels in the lower limbs due to atherosclerotic plaques, they will experience severe pain in the calf muscles while walking. They will be forced to stop and rest to allow blood flow to return to the muscles before continuing to walk. That is why atherosclerosis of the lower limb vessels is sometimes referred to as intermittent claudication, and it is the most common complaint. How can you cleanse the arteries in the neck and legs from plaque and protect them from stenosis? What folk remedies can be used alongside medical treatment? Here are the top 3: garlic, ginger, and green tea. What's so special about them? Garlic and ginger are believed to lower cholesterol and improve blood circulation. Green tea, which has been consumed in China for over 4,000 years, contains antioxidants that help maintain cardiovascular health. In Japan, where green tea is traditionally consumed frequently and in large amounts, life expectancy is among the highest in the world, and many of these long livers remain active and full of energy even at an advanced age. Some researchers believe this is directly linked to regular green tea consumption. Green tea also improves memory, concentration, and reduces the risk of conditions like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. There you have it, a simple longevity secret: drinking green tea daily. But do you know how to brew green tea correctly to get the most benefit? The process requires care, and not just to enhance the flavor, but also to preserve its valuable properties. The main rule: never use boiling water. Boiling water destroys compounds that are beneficial for the blood vessels. The optimal temperature is around 65 to 80 degrees Celsius. Usually, 1 teaspoon of leaves per cup of water is enough. Steep green tea for no more than 3 minutes, otherwise it may become bitter. We want you to live a long and healthy life. That's why at the end of this video, I'll tell you about a magic wand for your blood vessels. A simple product that works wonders. You'll be surprised, trust me. And right now, a legendary exercise to train your blood vessels. It's called the Vascular Pump. Wait, can blood vessels even be trained with exercise? Sure, you can build muscles and abs, and there's even facial fitness. But vessels, can they really be trained? Believe it or not, yes. Vascular exercises strengthen the vessel walls and make them more resilient. Let's do the Vascular Pump exercise together right now. Why wait? It only takes 2 minutes, and the effect may surprise you. The key is to do it correctly, smoothly, and in sync with your breathing. Let's begin. Stand up. Place your feet shoulder-width apart. Step 1. Rise onto your toes. Raise your arms up and inhale deeply for 5 seconds. Step 2. Lower your heels to the ground. Bend forward. Lower your arms down and exhale for 5 seconds. Did it work? It's simple, right? We recommend including this exercise in your daily routine and repeating it 10 to 12 times. But pay attention to how you feel. If you feel dizzy or experience any kind of discomfort, stop the exercise. Just please, don't confuse real discomfort with the desire to find an excuse to avoid doing anything. Too often, many of us give up on exercise, walks, or any physical activity using fatigue or other reasons as an excuse. As the joke goes, I can't sit around when others are doing something, I'll go lie down instead. But studies show that just 30 minutes of sitting without movement can reduce vascular elasticity by 20%. Meanwhile, a short 5-minute walk every hour can improve blood flow by 45%. If you sit a lot, just get up and walk for 5 minutes every hour. It will help your vessels maintain elasticity and improve circulation. Just imagine the benefit you can bring to your blood vessels by making a small change to your daily habits. So far, you've learned which foods cleanse your vessels and which exercise trains them. Next, we'll share a forgotten recipe for improving vascular elasticity. But first, let's understand why elasticity is so important in the first place. You probably didn't know this, but blood vessels can dance. Yes, really, don't be surprised. This phenomenon is known as vasomotion, and after age 55, it's crucial to teach our blood vessels to dance properly so that nothing accumulates in them. How do we do that? I'll explain now. Vasomotion is actually a very cool thing. Our blood vessels can constrict and dilate depending on the needs of the body. Are you cold? Vessels constrict to retain heat. Are you hot? They dilate to help you cool down. This ability to dance back and forth is essential for health and proper functioning of the body. For example, when you exercise or move actively, your muscles say, "Give us more oxygen and nutrients." In response, the vessels expand and allow more blood to flow to the muscles. When you rest, the vessels narrow to reduce blood flow and conserve energy. Unfortunately, with age, due to hormonal and other changes, our vessels become like old rubber tubing, less flexible and elastic. They lose the ability to easily dance by changing diameter, and this affects our health. But age is not a diagnosis. we can help our vessels become more elastic and flexible. How? By using contrast showers. But here's one important detail. If you've ever practiced alternating hot and cold water before, it's best to start cautiously, especially in older age. How? Let's hear from an expert. Currently, there are no studies confirming that contrasting temperatures have any positive effect on blood vessels. If we are talking about healthy individuals who enjoy dousing themselves with cold water, then it is not contraindicated. However, if the person is an elderly patient with cardiovascular diseases, cold water dousing may lead to a heart attack. Everything clear about the shower? Be careful in your pursuit of health. Remember, the main principle at our age is do no harm. It's better to move toward health in small steps than to change your life abruptly and shock your body into stress. Now it's time to explain how your teeth are connected to plaque buildup in your blood vessels, and how your ears can warn you about it. Yes, your ears can indicate poor vascular health. We've already mentioned the diagonal crease on the earlobe. Look in the mirror. Do you have one? A crease that looks like a deep wrinkle could be a sign of cholesterol plaques in the blood vessels. But why? Some studies suggest that this crease may result from changes in microcirculation or small blood vessels in the earlobe area, potentially reflecting broader vascular changes in the body. However, the mechanism linking the earlobe crease to vessel plaques is not fully understood, so this feature could indicate a problem, or it might just be an anatomical trait. In general, a person with cholesterol-clogged vessels is often easy to spot. You just need to look closely. Think about how you've been feeling and looking lately. Is your skin dull? Are you swollen? Do you get out of breath climbing stairs? Do you often have pain in the back of your head? Are your feet cold? Plaques and clots are to blame. They disrupt normal blood flow, which affects both appearance and well-being. Listen to your body. If you feel constantly tired and sleepy, it could be to poor circulation. When blood doesn't circulate well, your cells don't get enough oxygen, which they need to produce energy. As a result, your body feels depleted and you feel fatigued. Frequent headaches and dizziness may occur due to sudden changes in blood flow or pressure in the vessels. The brain is extremely sensitive to oxygen and nutrient supply. Even slight imbalances can cause headaches. Memory problems and poor concentration are also linked to blood supply in the brain. If the brain doesn't get enough oxygen and nutrients, it cannot function at full capacity, which affects your ability to focus and retain information. Now I'd like to ask you to write in the comments, do you often feel cold? Does it happen that everyone else feels warm, but you're still freezing even in wool socks? Many people think that being sensitive to cold is just a personal trait, a heightened sensitivity perhaps. But if we dig deeper, we see that cold sensitivity is more common in older adults, smokers, and people with low blood pressure, diabetes, or fat metabolism disorders. Because feeling cold is a sign that your blood vessels aren't working properly. Remember, one of the main causes of cold extremities is atherosclerosis of the arteries. Cold hands and feet indicate vascular issues. After all, blood carries heat, and if it doesn't reach your extremities properly, they get cold. You can also feel cold because of thick blood. And by the way, blood viscosity plays a role in the formation of clots and plaques. That's why in cases of atherosclerosis, doctors often prescribe anticoagulants, medications that thin the blood. Now here's an unexpected fact. If you suffer from periodontitis, you're in a higher risk group for developing atherosclerosis. Yes, don't be surprised. The connection between gum disease and atherosclerotic plaque formation is still being actively studied. The exact mechanisms of how gum problems lead to plaque buildup in vessels aren't fully understood. Just keep in mind, everything in our body is interconnected. Okay, you say, we get it. But how do we actually remove these plaques? Let me tell you. The Elixir of Youth can help. The Elixir of Youth is a traditional folk remedy for cleansing blood vessels, and it's called that for a reason. Because the condition of your blood vessels directly affects both your lifespan and overall health. So here's what you'll need. 1 cup of buckwheat, 3 cloves of garlic, 1 liter of kefir. To prepare this remedy, soak the buckwheat overnight. In the morning, rinse it and blend it in a blender. Mix the buckwheat with kefir and add the garlic, pressed through a garlic press. Place the mixture in the refrigerator and let it infuse for 12 hours. Take 1/4 cup 30 minutes before meals 3 times a day. The course lasts 10 days. Could such simple ingredients really restore youth to your blood vessels? Just imagine, they can. Let me explain how it works. Buckwheat is rich in rutin, an amazing compound that reduces levels of bad cholesterol, the main enemy of your blood vessels. Rutin also strengthens the walls of blood vessels, improving their elasticity and reducing permeability, which is helpful for preventing varicose veins and hemorrhoids. As an antioxidant, it also protects cells from damage caused by free radicals, reducing the risk of cardiovascular disease and cancer. As for garlic, it's a natural antibiotic and antioxidant. Kefir improves the gut microbiome, which, although indirectly, also impacts vascular health. We'll talk more about other folk remedies for cleansing blood vessels soon. But for now, tell us in the comments, do you smoke? And if the answer is yes, are you willing to quit smoking in exchange for clean blood vessels and 10 times more years of active life? The truth is, trying to cleanse your blood vessels while continuing to smoke is like pouring water into a leaky bucket. To keep your vessels healthy, you need to quit smoking. Take a look. Here's what a smoker's artery looks like. And here's a healthy artery. The difference is obvious. When a person smokes, their cholesterol levels rise significantly because the body needs to protect itself from the toxins in cigarette smoke. Okay, but if that's true, why do some people smoke and never seem to have vascular issues? Maybe it's about the dose. Cardiovascular risk is a complex concept, and for each patient, it is determined by many different factors. If someone you know smokes and lives a long life, that's more likely an exception to the rule. Smoking is the strongest risk factor for developing cardiovascular diseases and myocardial infarction in young people. There is no such thing as a safe dose of smoking. Smoking is harmful, even occasionally, and even passive smoking is dangerous. Doctors don't tell you to quit smoking for no reason. It's for your own health. But I understand, many people are skeptical of doctors. That's why at the end of this video, our expert will share tips on how to recognize a truly experienced and competent doctor. Now let me ask, do you know how many blood vessels are in your body? Get ready to be amazed. About 100,000 kilometers. If you stretched out all the vessels in an adult's body into a single line, it would wrap around the Earth 2.5 times. That's 2.5 times the length of the Earth's equator. Why do you need this information, you ask? To help you realize just how vast and complex your vascular system is. You can't cleanse it in one day or with a single remedy, because over the course of a lifetime, a huge amount of cholesterol buildup accumulates along the entire system, everywhere. So how do we deal with it? And how can we slow down the aging and wear of our blood vessels and of the entire body at the cellular level? Let's talk about that right now. But before we share a forgotten vessel cleansing recipe, let's finally ask, why is traditional medicine so strongly against the use of medicinal herbs? If a patient has already been prescribed an anticoagulant for the prevention of thrombosis, they must take it consistently and should not combine it with any dietary supplements or herbal remedies without their doctor's knowledge. This is because certain herbs can interact with the anticoagulant, either enhancing its effect and causing bleeding, or weakening it and increasing the risk of thrombosis. A common anticoagulant, warfarin, is no exception. It is derived from sweet clover. In essence, it is the same herb, but in a precisely measured and convenient tablet form. If a patient wants to prevent thrombosis, the best thing they can do is avoid smoking, manage their weight, monitor blood pressure, lipid and blood glucose levels, and stay physically active. Irina Alexeyevna explained that a well-known anticoagulant, a medication that thins the blood and helps prevent clots, is actually derived from sweet clover. Basically, it's the same herb, just in tablet form and in the right dosage. So it turns out that doctors aren't against medicinal herbs or supplements. They're against their unwise use. That's clear now. Let's move on. The forgotten recipe for cleansing plaque. So then, it's believed that we can slow down vascular aging and wear only through a comprehensive approach to vascular health. This means we need to stay physically active and eat right. Regular physical activity improves circulation and strengthens blood vessels, and a diet rich in antioxidants, omega-3 fatty acids, and vitamins helps protect vessels from damage and prevents plaque buildup on their walls. So what is a cholesterol plaque exactly? Let's recall. It's an accumulation of cholesterol and calcium within the wall of a blood vessel. These plaques are a sign of atherosclerosis, and they form over years. You could say that all our dietary mistakes accumulate inside our blood vessels. Remember when I talked about vascular age? Well, studies show that the biological age of blood vessels can differ from your passport age by 20 or even 30 years, and we can influence this number with our daily habits. Want to cleanse your arteries from plaque? Then let's do it. Here's a forgotten vessel cleansing recipe: raisin water. Surprised? Raisin water is a popular remedy in many Eastern countries. It has no contraindications. Raisins contain valuable compounds that transfer into the water and help lower cholesterol, thereby reducing buildup in your arteries. It's easy to prepare. Add 2 handfuls of raisins to half a liter of water. Bring to a boil and simmer for 2 to 3 minutes. Then let it steep for 24 hours. Strain and drink 1 glass on an empty stomach in the morning. And the soaked raisins can be eaten throughout the day. Add it to porridge or cottage cheese, for example. And since we've started talking about porridge, it's the perfect time to share a few heart-healthy breakfast ideas. Which 3 grains are the best for lowering cholesterol? Porridge isn't just a hearty breakfast. It's a great way to support your vascular health. You can cook it with milk or broth. Serve it as a side dish with meat, fish, or poultry. The variety of porridge-based meals allows you to eat healthily and deliciously. Here are the top 3 for taste and benefit. Oatmeal. It's rich in soluble fiber, which acts like a brush for your arteries, lowering bad cholesterol and improving circulation. Oats contain potassium, which supports a healthy heart rhythm. But we're talking about real oats, not the instant kind in packets. Instant oats are made from stripped grains that have lost most of their nutritional value. Buckwheat porridge contains magnesium and potassium, which help regulate blood pressure. It also has a lot of fiber, which helps lower cholesterol and improve digestion. Rice porridge is easy to digest and gentle on the digestive system, making it suitable for people with sensitive stomachs. Another benefit of this breakfast is that rice is rich in starch, which provides long-lasting energy. Eat this kind of porridge in the morning and you'll feel energized until lunch. And for those who were overfed with porridge as children and don't want to eat it anymore, here's a secret ingredient for vascular health. Intrigued? A cardiologist I trust once shared this secret with me. There's even a study confirming that these 2 ingredients together significantly reduce cholesterol levels. And the secret is black pepper and turmeric. But they must be used together. Black pepper contains a compound that helps the body absorb curcumin, the active ingredient in turmeric. Curcumin is a powerful antioxidant with strong anti-inflammatory properties. Any dish can become a vessel-friendly meal. Just add this dynamic duo, black pepper and turmeric. Healthy eating is one of the most important rules for clean arteries. Remove junk food from your table. Even if it's just mayonnaise, you're already helping your blood flow more freely to nourish your organs and joints. I know from experience that finding a doctor you can trust with your health and life isn't easy. And right now, our expert will show you how to recognize a doctor you can really trust. From my point of view, a good doctor listens carefully to the patient's complaints and medical history. They don't have a one-size-fits-all list of tests. Instead, they select tests based on the patient's specific history, choosing only those that are truly necessary to determine the appropriate treatment. It's also important that the doctor doesn't become irritated by the patient's questions and takes the time to explain the reasoning behind their decisions. In practice, patients often feel dissatisfied with their interaction with the doctor precisely because of the doctor's arrogance and inattentiveness to their concerns. A good doctor, by contrast, communicates with the patient as a partner, working together to find a solution to a shared problem. Do you trust your doctor? Let us know in the comments. We hope our advice helps you find a reliable specialist. Because in the early stages, vascular diseases can be reversed by changing your lifestyle and nutrition, giving up bad habits, and becoming more active. But in advanced cases, treatment is impossible without professional help. and sometimes even surgery. That's why it's so important to pay attention to your health and not wait until things get really bad. And to encourage you to focus more on prevention, I'll tell you about one simple product that works wonders. This inexpensive fruit is available in every store, and it should be on your table every day. Lemon. Oh, come on. You say, that's your magic remedy? But research shows that vitamin C helps reduce cholesterol and lowers the risk of cardiovascular disease. Vitamin C plays a key role in the production of collagen, which is essential for the health and youthfulness of our skin, cartilage, tendons, ligaments, spinal discs, and blood vessels too. Proper collagen production helps maintain long-term health and prevent premature aging. So yes, lemon can be considered a magic remedy, not just for your blood vessels, but for your whole body. Try adding a little lemon to your diet, for example, a quarter of a lemon a day. And in winter, when lemons get expensive, you can switch to rosehip tea. A deficiency in vitamin C can lead to increased bleeding. Many vitamins and micronutrients are important for vascular health and for the body as a whole. However, the modern diet typically provides an adequate amount of vitamin C, so taking it additionally is usually unnecessary. If you simply enjoy drinking rosehip tea and it doesn't contain a lot of added sugar, you can continue to do so. How often do you eat lemon? And what do you use to cleanse your blood vessels? Share your answers in the comments and let us know what topics you'd like us to cover in future episodes. We'll be sure to respond to the most interesting ones. If you want to hear your questions answered in a future video, subscribe to the channel, click the bell next to the subscribe button, and choose the all option. That's all for now. Subscribe to us, and of course, leave a like. It's easy for you, and it means a lot to us. Wishing you good health and longevity.